There's a reason why you can't just stick to one game and you cannot play it, and there is ways to actually solve this. So in today's video, we're going to talk about actually finding the right game for you, but also ways that you can actually stick to the game, enjoy the game to its fullest experience. Let's talk about it. The first thing is realize you're not actually the problem. It's just the way you're playing the games right now. It's okay. We live in a fast-paced society. It's okay. Like, we have to admit that maybe current gaming and the modern generation is a problem. It's not a great mix, but there's so many amazing games that we're just not getting to and we're not playing to its fullest because maybe there's just not enough time to get to everything. So we got to be selective about the games that we're playing. We might as well spend a bit of time instead of scrolling through the games like Netflix to actually have choice and choose the right game for us before we get into it. So the first thing is, we have to know we have so many options available to us. So we have thousands of games at our fingertips with Game Pass, we've got Steam, we've got PlayStation Plus with all of these humongous libraries and just endless amounts of fun to be had with gaming. So just know there is an endless amount of games, and then when we get to indie games, there's just a ridiculous amount of indie games as well to be able to play. It's a whole world of its own. And just know it's not actually a problem, but the problem is that we have so much choice that it's really hard to select one game that we're going to play next. And the next thing is just knowing what we're going to do and how to find games that are actually quite addictive in a sense that we don't want to stop playing. This is actually what we want out of this video. So the problem is you don't have a gaming problem, you actually have a choice problem. You know, there's 50 plus games probably sitting there, probably collecting dust that you haven't even picked up yet, or games that you just don't even know about that you really want to play. So the next thing is realize that you're actually addicted to buying the games, starting the games, and not actually finishing them. I've got this problem myself. I've seen purchase a lot of games. You should see my cupboard. I've got hundreds of games just sitting there and I never finish them. That is a huge problem. Like, I've got this big backlog and everyone talks about the backlog problem that they have with gaming. So just know that, you know, being selective about choices are actually better because one, it probably saves you a lot of money. Two, it probably saves you a bunch of time. And three, it's more fun because you start playing the games that you actually want to play. And just know that modern gaming is actually designed this way, and that's a problem. So just know that there are these massive libraries out there, and there's always going to be these sales and you're always going to be tempted to buy the next game. And unfortunately, that's just the world we live in. We live in a very fast world where the next game is literally around the corner. Pragmata has just been released and people are already talking about it. It's like, no, but I need to finish Expedition 33 first that I've just started, or Death Stranding 2, which I know is going to take a bit more time. Or maybe there's like PlayStation Plus sales, or maybe the games are on the Game Pass, so they're easy to download and play. And it's like, just give me time to just finish the first game first before I move on to the next. So yeah, we live in a world where it's consistently, let's play something new instead of let's finish the games that we've already got in our library. And that's something that's a trap that I'm personally falling into, that I'm trying to dig myself out of. So we have an anchor. So when we were younger, we didn't have that much choice. I didn't have a job when I was younger, so I didn't have that money to be able to spend to buy brand new games all the time. I was limited. And I had the Game Boy Color and at the cartridge, and I used to have a case, and in this case was a selective amount of games. Maybe I had 5 games to play. It's almost like modern gaming could be this way where it's like, instead of using online, you sort of stick to disc games, and maybe you limit yourself because you've only got the disc games, and when you finish with it, resell it, use that money towards the next game. So yeah, when I was a kid, I fully committed to the games as much as possible and actually got through way more gaming because of it. So my childhood is a great example of me sticking to games because, one, I had no choice but to stick to those games, but I actually chose the games that I really wanted to play. You know, when you get a birthday present and it's like, I really want that one thing, and they finally get it to you and it's just like, yes, this is the best thing ever, and it's that perfect surprise and you're really excited for it, and then you like you play it and it's just like the best thing ever. You fully finish the game and everything like that. You know, and I had that when I was a kid playing Pokemon Gold and Silver and stuff like that. You know, like get back to those times, Pokemon Emerald as well. You know, I used to finish those games. And it's because it was all physical. So maybe just limiting yourself in some sort of capacity may actually play an advantage in that way. And in a sense, like, it is lacking discipline in some sort of way, in the weirdest way, because it's gaming, right? Like, why are we lacking gaming discipline? Like, this is totally opposite to how the world is structured. But instead of being on my phone when I was a kid, because one, I didn't have a phone, or being on the internet all the time because I didn't have the internet when I was a kid, I was on my Game Boy. So having the physical device while on the train or something like that actually may come into play. Like, all I play on this thing is Pokemon Fire Red on the trains, or maybe a bit of Mario Kart or something like that, or something where it's a full story, maybe Mario Odyssey or Breath of the Wild. You know, I'll probably get through it if I actually commit to 1 or 2 games when I'm on the train, and that'll just make life easy. And it's not about discipline in that sort of sense. It's more just about making it accessible and easy for you. Maybe the Steam Deck is there for you to be able to play the games that you really want to play because it has a Steam library and it's portable. So maybe that's what you need. It's just something that's easy to actually get into the games and actually suitable for you with the device. So here's some easy fixes. So pick one game. So the way you pick a game is by doing the research. So how do we do the research? Well, I'd start by maybe a quick Google search. A game that's in a futuristic world. Okay, maybe Cyberpunk 2077. Maybe a game where robots are fighting, or maybe a game in the Wild West and it's an open world. Okay, Red Dead Redemption 2, fantastic. Just Google search, what game do you actually want to play? Maybe you want to play a racing game with like spaceships or something like that. You know, like just have a look at what game or what scenarios you actually want to play in. Sometimes I think like, ooh, you know, like LA Noire. That could be a really cool game, or like Mafia type stuff, you know. I haven't even played these games yet. Or maybe there could be exploring ancient Egypt and then you end up in Assassin's Creed Origins. And also think about like the type of game. Maybe you want to play an adventure game. Maybe you want to play an RPG. Like, don't limit yourself to the type of game. Maybe it's like this game's a platform or that game's that. Like, I would start by actually researching like the type of world that you want to be in, the type of characters that you want to play. Maybe there's something there but that will entice you because it's like, oh, this is something that I've really wanted to play or really want to do. So for example, like there's these Anno games that I've seen, and they're these like civilization building games that I haven't even played yet. I'm like, I'm really tempted to buy this every single time I see it. I just haven't played it. So it's like, I'm really tempted by that. So maybe I should just give that a go, and maybe that'll be something that I'll be addicted to. Haven't looked at any reviews, have no expectations whatsoever, and maybe that's the best way to leave it. I have zero spoilers about the game, and maybe that's the best way to find good games. I've also just watched some gameplay walkthroughs. I've skimmed through and I've gone, Death Stranding 2, that's a really good game. So there's also that way to like find a game that you really want to play and stick to it as well. And I think like the physical library thing really helps me. So like when I've got my Switch 2 on the go, I'll carry a case and I'll have those physical games with me. And then once they're finished, I can just resell them. So then I can use those funds to buy the next game that I will commit to. But sometimes because I've finished the game, I don't really want to sell it because I'm like, well, like Pokemon Sword and Shield, I actually fully finished that game as well. And I'm like, this is really hard to like sell. So sometimes you just want to keep those things because they're like a trophy thing that you could keep in a case and be like, I finished that, that's mine. And the next thing is just lowering your expectations about these full games. Like no game is going to be perfect, but also accept that there's going to be disappointing things, or accept that there's going to be challenges in the games, because without highs and lows, like what's a story? It's like life. You know, sometimes we have highs, we have lows in life. And in the gaming experience, sometimes we have the low points where it's like, ooh, we're getting absolutely smashed here. We got to figure out how we can get through it and be able to beat the bosses. And it feels more worthwhile because we managed to get to the other side and we beat that boss. And sometimes just following a walkthrough will actually help me so much. Following a playthrough will help me get to the other side and enjoy the gaming. But I'd rather go in blind sometimes and just figuring it out for myself. Maybe I want to just explore this world for myself. Maybe I just want to play this game because I just want to play the game and see the open world. And that's totally fine. So I don't think you have a problem when it comes to actually sticking to one game or picking a game. I think it's just a system that's designed in this modern world that's always like buy, or get this, get that. There's a sale on, you have to get these. And the thing is, you don't actually commit to the games and then get the full experience out of them, because games are very expensive these days. Like, you're spending $80 to $100 on a game and then you're not finishing it and you're not getting that $80 to $100 worth. It's kind of like not worth it at that point. So that's all I'm saying. And hopefully this video gives you some ideas about how to find your next game and stick to it. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.